what's the difference between a filter and an action? What's the difference? This is what I'm going to tell you. Technically, in the code, there's only one real big difference between these two. They share a lot of the same functionality. They're both event systems. Okay, they both allow you to register. They both allow you to fire events. They both allow you to check if there are any callbacks that have been registered or what event is actually being fired right now. They share common functionality. Matter of fact, the actions a lot of times will call the filter. So I'm going to blow your mind now. There's really no difference between the two except for one key difference, okay? There's only one difference between them. The filter will return. That's it. It's the only difference. Actions don't return. So when you do action, you're not getting a return value that then you can change something. So then knowing that the filters, the main difference between the two is that the filter will return a value, then what is the primary intent between these two? Intent. We talk a lot about intent. You're going to hear me bring this up a lot. What's the purpose? What's the intent? Why? So let's do that. Okay, I've got filter and I have action. Both of these are events. They both, when they fire, are going to say, okay, now whoever's registered to me, go ahead and do your work too, and then come on back to me. The difference is that the filter returns. Okay, so if we put that in here, so if you're passing, like, for example, user ID, username, post title, whatever, some piece of content, you're passing that through with a filter, then that means over here, the plugin or the theme, whatever, can then change that value and then send it back to you. Maybe they've enhanced it. Maybe they put some HTML tags wrapped around it, right? Some sort of microdata maybe is wrapped into it. So the filters allow you to change the content. So that's what we're going to put here. We're going to say the intent of the filter is to allow you to change content. Or you could even say not only content, but some sort of data, some sort of value. You can change that because data is going to become content. An action intent. Some of the actions will send you some arguments, some pieces of data so that you can work on them. But since you don't return them back, the intent is not to change content or data, but instead the intent here is so that you can just enhance. You can enhance, you can change, you can customize, right? So it's going to be that you can enhance by firing your code. You're not getting the opportunity to return something back like this one. Instead, you're just going to fire it and you're going to go off and do your own thing now. Okay, so that's the difference between the two. So think about it like this. You have a post title. Okay? And in the editor, you put in your lovely little post title. Now, what if your customer wants to add some sort of little icon over here on the front of it? Right? Some neat little icon. They don't want to put it into the editor itself. What they want to do instead is just somehow be able to say, maybe based upon the taxonomy, the term, the category, whatever. Based upon that, then I want you to put a different font icon or some sort of image in front of it, just to give it some character. Okay, so over here in your plugin, then, you can tap into that filter when the post fires and then go and do your lookup and get that information and then attach this to the front of the HTML before it goes out to the browser. That's a good example of how you can use a filter. Okay, so for example, The actual event, let's say if this is in a post, is the title. Okay, that's the event. And it's going to send you two arguments. It's going to send you the title, which then you can manipulate, and the post ID. Okay, so you get two things. And you get the opportunity to say, I'm going to change that title. So by registering yourself to this event, by doing this, add filter, the title, and now the name of your callback that you want. And if you want both of these, then you would go 10 and 2. And now you'd come down here and you have your function. Function add icon to title. Something like that. And then you'll go and you say, okay, I do want the title. And yeah, I think I do want the post ID as well. And I'm running out of room there. So I'll go post ID like this. And that goes up there. And now you can go and you can do your work. And then you can come and you can say, okay, I'm going to return now that title back to WordPress. And when I return that title, the function that this event sits in continues processing. You have now changed the title that goes out to the browser by doing this. Okay? So that's the difference with filter. When you have an event such as a init or loop start, plugins loaded, there's a lot of them. When you have these type of events, they're just letting you know I'm doing something. So if you're registered to me, then you go do something too. These are actions. So think about the name. Action. I just did something. That's an action. You go do something. Filter. When we filter data, we change it. Right? You run it through some sort of sanitizer. You're going off and you're saying, I want to filter these results and get different results back. We're changing the data, or we're changing the response. That's what a filter is. So if you think of it in that way, by the names that they've given them, then it kind of makes sense for you. Okay, so what we're going to continue doing here in this lab is we're actually going to dig into these. All right, we're going to go through, and the best way to discover what actions do, what filters do, is to actually get in there, roll up your sleeves, and let's do some of them. And for pro members, we're going to go even deeper, and we'll go into WordPress core. We'll take a look at them. This lab works in harmony with the docs. Okay. So go to the docs and you'll see in there detailed information about add action, add filter, and so on. All of the constructs that drive the functionality for the plugin API. So here we'll just go through in this lab, and I want to just introduce it to you, but then you go to the docs and you find all the deep information about each and every one of them and how they work. Okay, so I won't go that deep and to repeat myself. All right, let's get started.